Right, so that's the context for the conversation we're now about to get into with the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. Speaker, thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with the information I have just received, stating that you have either just returned or are at the home of the late Tina Joemat-Petterson. Do we know at this stage, Speaker, what circumstances led to her death?
Actually, I'm right in front of the house. I'm about to enter the gate, and I had to lay a bit in the car so that I can take this interview. I'm about to meet Comrade Tina's family. May her soul rest in peace. I do not know what the circumstances are of Comrade Tina's death. Neither, I think none of us, for now, are aware. I am sure when the results of the post-mortem are out, that's when family, and even those of us who are in the bigger family of the African National Congress, that's when we will know what led to the death of Comrade Tina.
Speaker, as you would have heard in that story we ran, the committee that is investigating the fitness to hold office of the suspended public protector, that particular hearing is completely thrown into disarray, stemming from the allegations that the late Tina Joemat-Pettersson possibly may have been involved in extortion/bribery allegations. What do you know at this stage?
You know, Xoli, I wish all of us could appreciate the fact that right now we're dealing with a traumatic situation where somebody was okay and suddenly passes on. And my wish, and I hope people will appreciate this when I put it forward. My wish is that we could at least allow Comrade Tina to be buried, and not only buried, for the family to find closure and heal, both the immediate family of Comrade Tina and the bigger family of the ANC. Right now, you are correct when you say we've been thrown into disarray. We have been thrown into disarray because none of us in the first instance believe that Comrade Tina has now passed on. So I think that for me, I mean, I've listened to this clip and I'm saddened to listen to the clip. I'm saddened to hear what happened at the committee list, because I would have thought, or maybe I made a serious assumption on my part. My assumption was that immediately people receive the news. Remember, I'm the speaker, and therefore I cannot interfere in the workings of the committee. But I would have expected that as soon as people get to the meeting, they would say, okay, this person has passed on. Can we now just put it on hold just for a few days until her remains have been buried? Right now, to have this kind of conversation, to have this kind of debate and discussion around Comrade Tina, whilst we are all digesting and trying to internalize the fact that she is now gone, I just find it very, very difficult. I just find it, for me, it's an unfortunate culture which we have developed, because Ubuntu nje determines that when you lose a loved one, you are given and allowed the opportunity to grieve, the opportunity to accept, and thereafter you can start engaging on a whole range of issues. I'm saying this, Xoli, having been the one last week in the meeting of the National Programming Committee, who was pushing the committee that, look, really, you cannot delay this, the finalization of this matter any further. I have even given a directive through the chair of chairs, Honorable Mkhwebane, for them to submit a status report, just for Parliament to have a sense of how far things are, because we can't have an ongoing and an endless process because of the resources which are limited. And if you now hear me say, I would have thought that when people reconvene yesterday, it would have occurred to them that for now, you need to give a break, you need to pause, reflect, and allow for all of us to mourn. And I'm saying this knowing that this has not impacted negatively or badly, sadly, on members of the African National Congress to which he belonged as a party. It has affected everybody in Parliament. Everybody is shocked by this. And I would have thought that people would say, all right, please let us allow for now for Tina to be buried, and maybe afterwards then we can begin the debate of this nature.
Speaker, I don't have much time with you, so I'm going to ask that we wrap up this very quickly. I know it is a sensitive time, but there is a direct accusation here, and it comes from the person whose fitness is being probed, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. These were her words yesterday in that very ugly exchange, if I could call it that. And I quote now, "I never asked Joemat-Petterson to approach my husband." That's a direct accusation where she claims that extortion was what was sought from her, or at least her husband. How would you respond to that direct accusation? And she makes this allegation directed exactly towards the chair of the committee, where she says, audio recordings where you can be heard as the chairperson of this committee, along with Phemi Majodina, you are implicated. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction to that, Oli, is that obviously, I don't know if you're aware of the fact that I've also been reported to the Ethics Committee by the Public Protector for having not shown interest in investigating the allegations against these three members. The issue is, Oli, yes, I am a presiding officer. I am a Speaker of the National Assembly. However, I do not have the powers to go into the workings of committees. I only intervene when a committee brings a matter to my attention through the chair of the committees, Honorable Frolik. So even this, I've heard the allegation. I've directed that it be taken to the appropriate forum where this allegation should be investigated. And that is my role. That is what I am supposed to do. Now, that's where it is right now, as far as I am concerned. And I would expect that the ethics, the committee will then investigate all of the allegations and then will submit a report to the office of the Speaker with recommendations. At this point in time, Speaker's hands are tied. There is no way in which you can make an intervention until the matter is brought by the appropriate structure to you as the presiding officer to then take the recommendations forward. And I'm just saying, yes, I've listened to the allegations of mate, and I've listened to the exchange between the committee and the public protector, but please remember, I may, in terms of the procedures here in Parliament, not intervene at this point until the report is properly brought to my attention through the appropriate structures with a recommendation. There is no way in which at this point I can say this and that and this is how we should do it. It's the appropriate structure which is investigating the matter, which should then engage with me on the matter. So I'm just saddened by the whole thing because it's getting messier and messier, and I just pray that maybe now as I visit the family, because they said I can be here at 10 o'clock, that I will hear when Comrade Tina will be buried. And once Comrade Tina has been buried, I think members will have the right to express themselves in the committee. But at this point in time, I think all of us, let us keep it in our minds that Comrade Tina is still lying in a mortuary cold. The family hasn't found closure. The bigger family of the ANC and members of parliament have also not found closure. And let her not be a subject of discussion until such time we have at least buried her.
Speaker.
That is my wish. But I can't dictate to people what they should do.
Yeah. While we appreciate, and I'm sure members of the public as well, will need to appreciate that process has got to unfold. I do think, though, Speaker, that your mere question, either yourself, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you. You are the CEO of Parliament. Yes, there are those that come beneath you in terms of the organogram. You've mentioned Mr. Frolik, who is the chair of chairs. A conversation with the chair of the committee that's probing Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office to say, Mr. Gyangi, did you engage in conversations about a possible bribe so that this matter against the public protector can go away? That simple conversation, Speaker, surely can short-circuit everything so that this inquiry, which is nearing its end, can at least go through with a certain level of integrity. Right now, its integrity is being impugned.
I hear you, and I appreciate what you are raising, that the integrity of the process is impugned. But the one thing which I have appreciated throughout is that the process has been very transparent. We have given all the support which was required by the process itself, including ensuring that I make financial resources available at a time when people were not prepared to pay for the remainder of the hearing. So we've tried our best, and I think the reason why I had to drag myself into that process of engaging with the Department of Justice and Treasury to ensure that there's money found, it was precisely because I'm taking responsibility as the CEO of the institution. And therefore, yes, I will make sure that the process is finalized. And of course, the many questions which you have about the allegations will be answered at the appropriate time when processes have been followed and everything has been done for people to answer the questions which are being put before them.
This is the problem, though, Speaker, that whilst we wait for the process to unfold, as I mentioned to you, process is important. But imagine a scenario where a report is produced by this committee.
By the committee, obviously these issues will have to be raised. You see, I think right from the beginning, Xoli, and at the risk of being perceived as being defensive, I'm not being defensive, but the point is, Xoli, which I raised with you as I opened my mouth, is one of the things we need to appreciate right now is Comrade Tina has passed on. Her remains are cold in a mortuary. She has not been buried. And my issue is, at least let us allow, even if it's a day or two, for her family, to bury her. And once that has happened, people can then start throwing all these many things, and including insults, and as they engage as members of the public and as members of the committee. And therefore, even this question which you are raising, you are putting me in a very unfortunate situation where you want me to comment about what else I'm going to do. And I'm saying to you, I want to bury Tina. I want to bury Tina as the Speaker of National Assembly. I want Tina's family to find closure. And I am saying this is just the Ubuntu. No one is saying these matters will not be taken up. They will be followed up. They will be taken up there has to be some kind of inquiry that will answer the questions you are raising. But I am saying at this point, Tina died 2 days ago. At least let us allow the family to bury her, and then we can start talking about all these things.
Speaker, I cannot go beyond this point, and I appreciate your time and the sensitivity of the period. Thank you very much for affording us your time, and indeed, we dip our banners in respect of Ms. Tina Joemat-Pettersson. May her soul rest in peace. Thank you very much for your time, Speaker. Well.